Senator Luján.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate you all being here today as well. Mr. Hoskins, I'd like to start with a question directed to you. As you may know, New Mexico has two ports of entry that serve as major entry points for livestock imports, the Columbus Port of Entry and the Santa Teresa Port of Entry. Both ports of entry were closed to livestock imports in November of 24 and again earlier this month to prevent the spread of the New World screwworm. While the Santa Teresa Port of Entry reopened for livestock imports in February of 25, before being closed again earlier this month, the Columbus Port of Entry remained closed to livestock during this time. My understanding, based on communication with USDA, is that due to the Trump administration's reduction in force efforts, there were not enough animal health technicians in Columbus, New Mexico, for that port of entry to reopen in February. My question, Mr. Hoskins, is yes or no? If confirmed, will you commit to ensuring that there are adequate inspectors stationed at the Columbus Port of Entry, specifically in animal health, to reopen that port to livestock crossings when it is safe to do so?
Thank you for the question, Senator, and the opportunity to visit with your staff before today's hearing. I know you're looking for a yes or no answer. I guess I would say it, and not to be evasive, not being at the department and not being briefed on staffing decisions and assessments and needs. What I could commit to is just that, if confirmed, I would ensure APHIS met its congressional mandate to protect U.S. agriculture from animal, plants, and diseases. And I would support and implement Secretary Rollins' direction where she has stated publicly APHIS will have the adequate staffing and resources needed to meet its mandate.
Do you believe that animal health technicians are important in the mission of USDA?
Yes, Senator, I do.
I appreciate that. I hope that that's expressed to the Secretary and to the administration. I very much appreciate the attention from the Secretary in this space, but there aren't enough inspectors. The more people that are going to get fired, the less that are going to be available. That's going to hurt efforts all around the South. And it shouldn't just be Texas that gets attention. If you go down and you look at where those animals are crossing, more people cross into Texas through those ports of entry. More commerce is moving through some of those smaller ports, namely agriculture in New Mexico. So if we're going to look at this from a United States perspective, I certainly hope it gets that kind of attention. I'm also very concerned that the loss of staff at USDA resulting from the Trump administration efforts have undermined the agency's ability to serve people back home. And I also get calls from people in other parts of the country that I've met along the way that are very concerned with some of these initial reports. Many USDA staff who have dedicated their careers to serving farm country and rural America at USDA have very specific knowledge base and specialties and make a difference in people's lives. Several media outlets reported that just days after the administration's deferred resignation offer went into effect, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service sent an email to remaining employees offering, quote, lateral transfer opportunities to fill 73 open positions that are especially critical to fill as soon as possible. Now, Mr. Hoskins, you spent a significant portion of your career working at USDA, first as the Chief of Staff and Marketing and Regulatory Programs Mission, and later as Senior Advisor to Secretary Perdue. Do you agree that career staff play a critical role in maintaining operations at the agency?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Yes, in my experience working with APHIS and AMS, the career staff and the subject matter experts are absolutely indispensable.
I appreciate you saying that, and that is the case. I don't know where a lot of folks back home would be without that kind of support, and I certainly hope that as this review is going on, that adequate levels of support will exist for farmers and ranchers across the country, and you're one of the best that knows this. I mean, you've done it. You've seen it. And so I certainly hope that your voice will be listened to when you're in this important position. Now, in recent years, New Mexico's experienced an unprecedented number of extreme weather events, including wildfires, droughts, severe storms, and flooding. In western states like New Mexico, it's just getting more and more common. It's critical for our food supply and for the livelihood of our farmers and producers that the federal government invest in adapting production techniques to respond to extreme weather. Dr. Hutchins, if confirmed, how would you ensure that USDA responds to changing weather patterns that are resulting in more extreme weather?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. The USDA, particularly for crops that you're familiar with in your state, has got tremendous breeding capabilities to be able to build in some of these areas of tolerance, whether it's heat or drought or what have you. When I was working with USDA previously, I'd sat down with the breeding leaders and asked them to incorporate within their goals the things that are most important for the particular crops and regions. And so I would look to continue that focus to ensure that our crops and our animals are able to be resilient with the various year-to-year weather patterns that
Appreciate it.
exist.
Just to be clear, this is an area that you will prioritize, and you'll continue to do the good work that you've done in the past.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Hoven.
I'd like to thank both of you for being here. Appreciate it very much. Starting with you, Mr. Hoskins, if confirmed, will you fully enforce the Packers and Stockyards Act?